back to Nikki's Scrapbooking Adventures. Today, we're going to organize some stamps. Now, I picked up this stamp set from Michael's just at a random occurrence. I was going through their sales and I found this stamp set because I really wanted these small alphabets. Well, the problem I run into is they don't want to stick to the transfer paper, to this plastic anymore once they're cut apart. So, my goal today is to build a couple of the pages like I had shown in a different video. I'll link that video below, where I've transferred my stamps to a laminating sheet. Okay, so my plan is to stamp all of the images of the alphabets, only the alphabets so far, onto a page and then put the letters on the back. Now I've got a couple other alphabet stamps that need to go on the same sheet, so I'll need to dig those out of my pile as well. But today I'm going to concentrate on just this one set of alphabets because it really, really needs a new home. Like really, really needs a new home. This is ridiculous. I should not have to fight this. Nope. Just not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. So I'm first gonna test to make sure that these are actually going to stick to the laminating sheet, because it's not sticking to this plastic, and this plastic is pretty slick. Like so I'm gonna go grab that laminating sheet. So I will be using this Scotch self-seal laminating pouch, no machine required, and photo safe. So if I take one out, this is what it looks like. And it has clear instructions on there already. So I am going to test this to make sure that these letters are going to stay to this plastic. And if they don't, what I'm going to do is actually go wash them with soap and water. Because I think what's happening, yeah, that's kind of what I thought. I think what's happening is they aren't sticking because they have ink still on them. Like my system for cleaning stamps is not the greatest right now. So I'm going to go put these in a bowl, wash them with soap and water. See, the new ones that have not been used stick fine. But I'm going to just go ahead and wash them all. You can see I love this letter set. It's like the perfect size for those small sentiments when you want to add them. So I really want to make sure not to lose any letters. And that is the way I'm going to do it, is through these laminating pouches. Now, they were horribly machined, and I have to literally pull them apart in order for them to separate, which is ridiculous. That one sticks fine. I don't know what's going on with these. It's annoying. That's what it is. That's exactly why I'm doing this project right now. It's because I am tired of potentially losing a letter, having issues pulling the letters apart. They're just going to go all in a pile. So I hope you are working on organizing with me today. Picking something out in your space that you're like, I just need to get this done. Because that is exactly where I'm at with this project. I just need to get it done. See, I have to rip them apart. That's ridiculous. Ugh, I can't even get this one apart. Come on. Now, the nice thing about the stamp set is that it comes with mini numbers and larger numbers. So lots and lots of numbers. Downside is that it does not come with any punctuation. I actually enjoy when stamps and stickers come with punctuation, because then I have that option. I don't have to jerry-rig it and create my own. Okay, I'm going to leave these icons on here. I haven't used them yet, so they are sticking fairly well. I'm going to leave that little check mark there, because this check mark is associated with those. So I will be back. Okay, so this is my plan. What I did is I added my letters to my bowl. I added a smidge of dish soap, and then really hot water, because hot water dries faster than cold water. So I am going to just kind of rub these between my fingers to get the ink off, and then I'm going to place them on this microfiber towel to dry. And they should dry fairly quickly because I'm using like scalding hot water. I tend to wash even my dishes in scalding hot water because, again, it dries so much quicker than cold water. And I got a second towel here to kind of pat the letters as they dry. So I am actually experiencing the full stickiness with some of these letters. They are sticking together. Ooh, come on. Which is great, right? That means my soap water trick is working to get the ink off. Right now I don't have a good solution for washing my stamps, especially these small ones. So if you have any recommendations, I did pick up a stamp chamois from Scrapbook.com. I think it's actually through Lawn Fawn. So I'm going to try that for a while. I've tried baby wipes. They don't work. I've got a stamp scrubber that's super old. It's stained. So I've had to wash that one with soap and water several times, and it's getting really annoying. You know, annoying to the fact where I think I actually threw it away. Because nobody wants to scrub their stamp and then it turn black. Like, come on. Really? Really? I do tend to use... what is it called? Oh, Stays On. So that really actually stains your stamps. With these I have not. I've chose to use pigment ink, and that's, I think, part of the dilemma, is that a lot of YouTubers that I see use dye ink, which comes off a lot easier. I would use my Distress Oxide inks. However, I messed up the formulation. I used too much refresher on it, and so now I can only use those for watercoloring and with stencils, but not actually stamping because the image doesn't come out clear, which is really frustrating. I did reach out to Tim Holtz, and he was actually the one who emailed me back about that issue that I was having. I was like, is there anything else I could do? He's like, no, it sounds like you just messed up the formulation and there's nothing really you can do. So it was really cool that he emailed me back. Super disappointed that using his project on his product didn't work as planned. That's okay. Now, ideally, if I didn't drop any of my stamps, that should be it. So I'm going to just kind of pat them dry here. If you have any suggestions on how to get my Distress Oxide ink pads back to normal, I am all ears. I thought about leaving them out to dry, but then I would have to use refresher spray again to reactivate it, so I was like, well, that kind of defeats the purpose, right? I did get them used, so I didn't pay full price, so that's a good thing. I did purchase some new Distress Oxide inks over the Black Friday deals, and I'm excited about those. I have not got them in the mail yet. So I'm waiting on Joann's. Okay, these feel a lot stickier. I'm going to press them to the side, move that out of the way. Let's see. Let's just test a couple. I have no idea which ones I've used, which ones I haven't. If you have a way to store your stamps, please comment below. I would love to see what you're doing. See? It was that ink. These are sticking beautifully now. Okay, so I've already transferred some of my alphabet from here to here. A little trick when you're doing this, if you're using a stamp platform, you need to make sure the alphabet is backwards. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. When I flip it over, I'm going to be reading left to right. So hopefully you can see that there, that I put my stamps on backwards so that when I stamp it, I'm reading left to right. Now, thankfully, I have my transfer sheet still that has the images. I did not throw it away. I still have it because now I can tell how many letters I'm missing. Each letter essentially has 2 of each. I'm missing an F so far. So I'm just leaving spaces so that if I find the letter, I can put it back on there. And that was a risk that I took when I did take all of these off the transfer sheet, is that I could potentially lose letters. But the gain was better than the risk. I've transferred all of my letters and numbers to my stamping platform. Now I'm going to add washable ink. Now I haven't used these actually on stamps before, but I figure I could use washable ink to make it a little bit easier to take the pigment off the stamps. Now as you see, I'm just going to use regular old black. I don't want to use a color or anything like that. Get it all nice and inked up. And then get my paper ready. And I should have done that in the opposite order. This is the stamping platform by We Are Memory Keepers. I think it's the Press and Stamp or something like that. I like it. It's fine. I don't know. I feel like I'm not very good at stamping. That happens a lot where I've seen people use washi to keep their stamps in check. Does not work for me. I don't know. I feel like I'm not like other stampers. I'm fine with trying to separate the magnets when they snap together like that. You just line up the holes. Get your magnets out of the way. And then press down. Now, experience with this stamp set tells me I don't need to press down hard to get a good impression. I am using washable ink though. This time around. My R didn't get placed down. I think it's because that magnet is in the way. But ideally what this stamp platform is going to do, just like the Misty, going to make it so that you can overlap stamp twice without a double impression. Well, I got a double impression this time. User error. Not the fault of the device at all. I'm going to dip this because this is completely dried out. Oops. This is another thing you got to be careful with when you're washing your stamps like this. Okay, that comes off pretty easy. is when it's a super small set like this. They can come undone pretty dang quickly. My goal is to not have to have them in the bath water again, but it looks like they're gonna need it. See, I can't get them clean even with watered, soapy water on my Delios. But because I washed them before, they're stuck to this. I've got my second stamp set all juiced up with the washable ink again, while my letters are still soaking. Now, because this is an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, it's not going to fit well on my stamping platform. So instead, I just pulled off that piece there. I'm going to kind of center it where I think it will stamp the best. Okay. And then I'm going to flip this over and press down. Now, some people have that stamping majigger press down tool. I do not. I think about using my hockey puck for my table hockey thing down in the basement. Thinking about doing that, but for now, I'm happy with that. That works. Okay. So that set is done. Isn't that a fun alphabet? I thought so. So that's why I purchased it. Again, I get practically all of my stamps from Scraps KC. So I will be back. Okay. I've got all of my images stamped. So next, I am going to do this portion where I actually insert my stamped image onto here. Now, I am purposely not stamping the images on the back because that's where my stamps will be. Now, this is a double-sided laminating pouch. That is important. Okay. So, keeping your document centered on a flat surface, open the sheet protector and center your document face down on the transparency sheet. Okay, so centered face down, make sure it's up the right way. Making sure that's not in my transparency pouch. Okay. Then, keeping your document centered, remove the gold narrow liner strip to expose the adhesive edge. Then I'm going to close the back sheet over my document. Press the narrow exposed adhesive to lock your document into the page protector. Turn the sheet over and open the transparency sheet. Starting at the lower left-hand corner, pull the white liner while pressing onto the transparency sheet with a ruler or a straight edge. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. The We Are layer guides. Okay, so I'm going to close this, locking it in place. Okay, making sure no air bubbles. I'm going to rotate this so it's a little bit easier to work with. Actually, just kidding. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Okay, so this is how I like to do it. I am going to press with my ruler on this side and push it to make that white laminating instruction move, but still pressing on the back here with my ruler. I'll show you on the side so you can see what I'm doing. So here's the clear transparency sheet, and I am making my ruler push the white protector out. See how it's pushing it out? Making sure that this is a flat edge. You can do this with your fingers too, but I find using a ruler super simple. See how this is now my clear transparency. This is my instructions, and I'm pushing it out so that my laminating sheet is flush. So now I have a laminated sheet. Dun, da, 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 da. This may be a little bit different if you actually have a laminator. I don't know. And then I can just throw this away. Next step, because this is going into a binder, is to hole punch it. I just use a regular old office hole punch. Now, regular old office hole punches are made for 8.5 by 11 pieces of paper. So in order to get it to fit, you have to cut away some of the edge of your thing here. Not a big deal. Go about 1 inch in on either side. Now, if you didn't want to do this, you could just use a normal old hole punch, I think. Now, normal old hole punches may not go through this thick of material. This is a pretty thick plastic. It's got some weight to it. It's definitely thicker than cardstock, especially now that I have cardstock in it. So, I've cut away a corner so that it can slide inside my hole punch. And press down. So now my page is punched. Yay! Okay, so I'm going to transfer some of my stamps to the back of here. I'm going to wait for my little guys to dry. I'll do those later off camera because they're going to be a lot bigger of a pain in the butt than they are already. Okay, and instead of doing it opposite, because this isn't see-through, I can do this in actual left to right order. And I'm going to start at the bottom because I started to run out of room here, and I don't want to run out of room when I go to put these all on. Cardstock, I don't really need it to be in exact order because I can tell what they are. Okay. So 7, 8, 9, right? Let's see. How far does that go? Oh, 8, 9. Actually, you know what I could do is, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And you know what? I'm going to center those more and move them up just a smidge because I don't want them falling off. And the biggest risk of falling off is being on the edge. So this is how simple this project is. You know, just recapping a little bit, you take some plain white cardstock. So you stamp your images on there. You get a self-seal laminating pouch that's letter size. It's double-sided, not single-sided. You add your cardstock image to the laminating pouch. You put your images on the back of the card, of the laminating piece. Then you're going to take another piece of white cardstock and you're going to punch a couple holes. Remembering that when you do punch that hole, and you're in to make the backing. So it's kind of like a book because you don't want your stamps sticking to your other stamps in a laminating pouch and oh Lord. So then you line up your holes. And to make your book, you're just going to take a plain piece of transparent tape or whatever tape you have on hand, not double-sided, because you want this to be able to open like a book. to reveal all your stamps. So I'm going to continue to do this with my little itty bitty guys. And that is my book, my friends, for my alphabet stamps. I hope you enjoyed this video and inspiration on organizing your stamps. I plan to do that with all of my alphabet stamps, all of my pretty much all of my stamps. I'll categorize them into groups and then get them on cardstock and laminate them, and then put the stamps on the back of the laminating piece. Have a great day, and I will see you next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.